We're Two Mamas, No Manual. I'm Leah.
And I'm Dani, and this is the podcast for everyone that's dealing with the raw, unfiltered reality of life. Because being mothers, being entrepreneurs, being humans is so difficult sometimes.
Oh,
so
girl.
stressful. And we have so much polished, beautiful, refined, curated content out there for the boss babes that have it all figured out. But that's not us.
Definitely not.
No.
We're working on it.
We're trying.
We're a work in progress.
But as of right now, no. This is our second take of this intro.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
So this episode we are going to talk about motherhood and raising boss babe kids. Kids to be respectful, but to be in their own skin, have their own voice, and to know that they can rule the world.
Yeah, and that they can do it in their own way without having to, go with the crowd, right?
100%.
Because it's that's the, even though there is that, be yourself, be authentic, there also is a society that is crafted around people following certain channels and certain molds for themselves.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm guilty of that, too.
Yeah.
But as trying to be a boss babe myself, being an entrepreneur, owning my own business, I am trying to instill that into Aria. We were just at Fall Fest this past weekend, and she is just the light of everything. Obviously I'm trying to be very interactive with small businesses, and I want them to be proud of what they've built, because building a small business is insane, everything that goes in behind it. So she's seeing me interact with everyone, hey, how are you? This is awesome. Good for you. Congratulations. And she's picking up on it. So she's entering this boss babe era of herself, and she's I've been posting a lot more on Instagram trying to promote small businesses around Berks County. So I let her be the face of a lot of the videos because she's gorgeous and she's just
so cute.
Such an awesome, bright girl. So I'm people that view this stuff, they're not going to just click past it because they're going to be this is awesome. Number one, she is young, so they can see that she already has this charismatic, actor, type thing. Yes. So we were doing videos. David, actually, he's on one of our episodes. Actually,
shout out David. You watched that episode.
Yep. He came and he's recording with us, and them two get along great. He's got kids of his own. He's a girl dad, so he's, recording her, and she's laughing, and everything that we got, and then every stand that we went to, she's like, can I do this? Can I try this? Well, and she's, giving us ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm yes, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is the type of energy that I want her to have, and I hope that she knows that she can speak up in any room that she's in.
For sure. We have two little child stars, because you've seen River has his card pulling page.
Yep.
Where River begs to make these tarot card reading videos. And he's so desperately wants to make gaming videos. I'm still trying to figure out the technology of that, because that is extensive.
Yeah.
But it's I have nourished this ability within him to speak up and be himself, just similar to you with Aria.
Yep.
Where it's they want to shine brightly. Yep. They don't feel the need to dim themselves down.
She has been wanting to be a YouTube star, I feel since she could watch YouTube. She's obviously social media is so ingrained in our kids now, and screen time and everything. So they're seeing kids similar age, even younger, unboxing stuff and just doing their makeup and hanging out and all this vlog style stuff. And she's I could do that. So for 1 year for Christmas, her grandmother got her one of those little tripod cameras, and she could record on it. And she's can I have a YouTube? And I looked into it, but it's a lot. When you have a minor that you're trying to put on social media, which I'm so glad that it's that, because social media can be scary. Yes.
Yeah, and people do exploit their kids.
Yeah, 100%.
The kids that don't want to be on camera.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. But I feel in today's society, every kid knows. They're can you record me? Aria's always can you record me? Watch me do this.
Yes. I love her. She is made to be she would be a little Disney star.
Oh, 100%.
If we were anywhere near Disney's production team. But she could easy do they still do the Mickey Mouse ear thing?
I don't know. I haven't really watched, we have Disney Plus.
We need to do that as a promo for our pod.
The Disney thing?
but do it real messed up, dude. But yeah, no.
I used to love that.
I
when,
did too.
when the little, like, well, Selena Gomez was in it, the Jonas Brothers, they'd be in the little Mickey Mouse thing with the wand.
The
Yeah.
wand is
Yep.
so cool, dude.
Yep.
We need to do that.
Heck yeah.
We'll figure it out.
She would totally kill at that.
Yeah.
As a girl mom, I want to raise Arya to believe that she can do anything. We've talked on previous podcasts about how children should run for president because, I mean,
especially Arya, specifically.
Yeah, specifically Arya. Arya should run for president. I would vote for her.
River, you can run for president too if you want. He's like, what does that even mean?
Ari for prez.
You can be the vice president if you want. We need more of that. We need a woman president.
Yeah.
River can be second banana for that.
But I think that teaching kids that is a possibility, like growing up, I never thought, like, I could be president. Mm-hmm. Not that it was like a negative thing, but it's just like in your everyday life, it's like you could run a business, you could do big things with your life, you could become a doctor, or, a veterinarian or all these things, mm-hmm. But I don't think it's like first string to be like, I could be the president.
Right. Well, I feel like things like that, they're looked at such like lofty goals, like, oh, what are you going to be, a rocket scientist?
Yeah.
A brain surgeon? President? But really, those are occupations that you just follow the steps to do.
Yep.
They are.
And they're attainable, 100%.
Right. Anything is achievable with the right steps. Yep. And dare I say, we have seen how presidency can be achieved by, really anyone these days.
Yeah.
So, it's like, these kids should be raised to know, like, you can make a difference in your community. Mm-hmm. You can make a difference in your county, your state.
Yep.
Then, from there, you could just go up.
I think that that's one of the main things that I always take away from parenting is, like, we are a pretty chill household when it comes to parenting. Like, for Arya's age, she has a lot of say. We ask her what she wants to do. She gets to choose her plans most of the time. Obviously she's still a child and we're still her parents, so she follows a regimen.
Yeah.
But being an only child as well, she has an older sister, but in our household, she gets a lot of say. Mm-hmm. And I think that has made her so much more mature and able to make decisions quickly because I feel like I've been around. I mean, she's slow at this sometimes too when you ask her a question and she's like, la-di-da-di-da,
Yeah.
But I've been around, she's a kid.
Yeah.
But I've been around other kids where, like, parents are trying to, like, have a conversation with them and they're just not with it at all. Like, they have no focus, they can't even, like, bring their, focus to the conversation, and Arya's so articulate with that stuff. So the fact that Wayne and I do talk to her like anything is possible, and that she sees that we are so goal oriented with helping the community or wanting to be such a big part of the community, it is making her want to do that already.
Right. And it nourishes that sovereignty that kids need. Like, kids need to know that they can do things, they should do things, and that there's benefits to that. Like, being able to sit down and have a conversation with an adult, it's not a boring thing that they just have to do, because some kids look at it like that. They look at it as a punishment because they're only used to getting maybe attention when they're in trouble. Mm-hmm. So then they try to avoid conversations with adults. 100%. But it's like, no, adults have a lot to teach you and a lot to offer. And it's like, you sit down, like, if River sits down and talks to you and you tell him, like, oh, you could have a market kind of like Arya's Enchanted Market, and you could do this and this, and then he can get inspired, he can get ideas, get creative with it. And it's like, we have to nourish these conversations with them from such an early age so that they know they can build that community and can, like, contribute to maybe more mature or developed conversation.
Well, especially if you're teaching them now.
Yeah.
Like, imagine what they're going to do, like, by the time they're our age.
Right. Like, dude, I'm still nervous to talk to adults. Okay? I was not nourished to talk to adults, And, like, now I have crippling social anxiety where I'm like, oh, I need to be professional robot. And then I always mess up because, again, as the intro showed, don't have it together. And then I, like, fall apart at the mouth, like,
that happens to me too, though, in certain circumstances.
Right. And I think people like it because they're like, okay, you're
relatable,
human.
yes,
Understandable. But I aspire to walk into a room and not just vomit out of my mouth. like Like, what a thing to do. And so to have these kids grow up so empowered and so decisive and so confident in their own ability to like communicate and orchestrate.
Well, especially in today's society. Like,
Yeah.
the society does not make it easy to do that whatsoever. Everyone is scrutinizing everyone for everything. And it's like, just be your own person. Like,
Yeah.
do what makes you happy so that way when you do have kids, your kids are seeing. Like, you're not even having to teach them anything because they're seeing in your everyday life that you're living a life that makes you happy.
Right.
Like, and I know that sometimes in certain families that's easier said than done. You know, like, the economy is horrible right now.
Yeah.
Everyone is going through something.
Right. Leah and I do not have yachts.
No, definitely not.
we do not have yachts.
I don't even have a boat. I have a paddleboard.
I don't even have a boat. I have a paddleboard.
See? We have paddleboards.
We should go paddleboarding.
We should.
But yeah, I mean,
I took Aria paddleboarding. She loves it.
River likes paddleboarding too.
We definitely need to do that.
I
took Jules. Oh, did you take your dog?
Oh yeah, I took my dog.
That's amazing.
All right, guys, look out for the paddleboard special. We're gonna take our equipment
Oh
out.
my god,
paddleboard.
could you imagine? I mean, I got the little mics. We could.
We could. Shout out David.
Shout out David.
for
Thanks,
the
David.
little mics. Yeah. No, it is so like even with the economy, it's so important. Even if you're so busy, you're so exhausted at the end of the night. Just like invite your kid into the bed, into a snuggle for 5 minutes and be like, hey, you can do great things.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that you did this today. I really like that you did this week.
100%.
I think you should keep working on this thing because I see a lot of potential there and you're not quite there, but I see it getting closer. And then good night. Love you.
Yep.
5 minutes to just simply empower your kid.
With Aria, like, being so talkative, we have to, like, reel it in sometimes.
Yeah.
So I told her that we're going to start this gift bag thing. So when Wayne and I go shopping, we always pick something out for Aria. It's, like, a really bad habit that we both have.
It's a bad thing.
I mean, it's a great thing for Aria, but, like, realistically, she's getting spoiled every day, every time we, like, run to the store. So I thought a better way to do it would be we can still do that for her, but we were going to put it all in a bag. And at the end of every week, if she has a great week at school, she comes home and she does her school routine, you know, all these things, that then at the end of the week, she'll get to pick out of this prize thing. She earns it, which, not that she doesn't earn it just, like, randomly.
Yeah,
but
she
the kid
earns
gets
love
random
by
stuff.
existing.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, you do gotta, like, kind of show them.
Incentivize.
Yeah,
So,
yes. That's the word.
Yep. So I said that to her. I was like, so we're gonna, like, start this thing, and she's so excited. She's like, I just want to see what's in it. And I'm like, no. I'm like, you don't get to just look at everything. Like, it's a mystery bag. Like, you just gotta reach your hand in and grab out, and that's how you're gonna do it. So this coming week we're starting that, so she'll get to pick something out on
You'll have
Friday.
to keep us all posted on how that goes.
Yeah, I'll have to get her reactions to some stuff, and we'll throw it in there.
Ooh, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, she's excited about that.
Yeah.
But that just goes to show that, like, she has ambition towards things.
Right.
So she knows that when she's getting up in the morning, she has a routine to follow. When she's going to school, she's got to be a little less chatty. I mean, we always get great stuff back from her at school. Like, I'm never really worried about that. She always listens to her teachers. But then when she gets home, she's, like, bottled up because she has to, like, rein it in a little bit at school.
Yeah.
So she's like, blah, 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 like, and
Love
you
that.
know what I mean? Which so do we, and Wayne and I love it. But on days that we're tired, it like, I feel bad for her.
Well, no, it is a life skill to be able to tell when someone's battery's low.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to teach kids to be like, all right, you see daddy's in a bad mood right now, don't get up in his face.
Mm-hmm.
You see mommy's overstimulated, give her
Yep,
give her
that's
some
what we
air.
say all the time, overstimulated.
You have to understand other people's emotions. It's empathy. So it's like, you gotta recognize, it's like, all right, Aria, I love that you're so excited right now, but, you know, we're trying to bring the energy down. It's the end of night.
Yep.
So it's,
Yep.
and you
And
gotta,
that's exactly how we approach it too. And she gets it. She knows.
Yeah.
Like, so 8 o'clock is our wind down time. And we've gone over schedule so many times, and she's a night owl. And you know what she said to me the other day? Oh, she cracks me up. She was like, hey mom, she's like, when was I born? And I was like, 11:14 at night. And she's like, that's why I'm a night owl. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But she's, like, right in a sense. Like, so I'm like, that does kind of make sense. Like, she's always been that way. Like, I worked second shift when I first had her, so I feel like she would like to stay awake to see me after work. So she's always been one of the children that stays awake, you know, a little later. And she still gets up for school in the morning. She still, you know, does all of her things. Sometimes she's a little cranky, but 8, 9 o'clock is her bedtime, and I think that that's perfect for her. And it's always like been like that, and she does well with it. And I think with the gift thing, like she's really gonna excel. Like it's just to keep her on track because she is so full of energy and so, boss babe mentality. Like I've been teaching her that it gets ahead of her sometimes because I can see her like trying to speak to me, but she's like so caught up with the train of thought that it's like not coming out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's me. Still. Yes, I understand deeply.
So I know it's like excitement,
right?
And it's nothing bad about it, but it's like take a deep breath.
You gotta untangle it in the head,
just
so
slow
that
down.
A giant yarn ball doesn't come out of your mouth.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You gotta sort
or
it out.
Or she'll get stuck on her words too. So she's like trying to say it, and she's like, and she's like skipping, and I'm like, girl.
Land the plane on.
Yes, literally.
I literally say that to River. I'm like, all right, River, can you land the plane, please?
I love that. We are so going to start using that as a staple in our house. She's going to be like, what? Oh, that's great.
But these are all things that you need to teach kids that people, I think it's just so like, they're like little micro corrections that people don't think, but those are the micro corrections that create strong individuals.
100%.
Older. It's like, all right, like River, land the plane, like whatever you're trying to communicate, elevator pitch it, all right? Make it happen. And like figure out what you want, then come to me. Like he'll always be like, I'm hungry, like we don't have anything. I'm like, River, go in the kitchen, look. I'm like, look, figure out what you want. I will make it for you, I will figure it out, but you need to look and see first.
Oh, Ari does that to us all the time.
Yeah,
she'll just like walk out and she'll be like, I'm thirsty, and we just look at her like, you just walked by the kitchen full of all the things that you could suffice for yourself if, quench your thirst, whatever.
Hi, thirsty, I'm Leah.
Yep, that's what we say. We're like, hey, like, and then she's like, I'm hungry, this or that. And I'm like, we've designated drawers in the fridge for her. Like, she has a snack drawer that has, like, her Uncrustables, cheeses, like, all the stuff. And I'm like, go help yourself. Yeah. Like, like, you're independent enough. And then she goes to her grandparents' house and, all hail Queen Aria there.
Fruit punch, please.
Literally. I feel like we're portraying this episode as we need to encourage our kids to have a voice, and we need to talk to them about real life things and teach them, when it's appropriate to stand strong, whatever. Mm-hmm. How do you teach them that all of that is the way to pave yourself, but at the same time, read the room?
Right. I think it's regulation, and it's like you have to learn. To be a strong individual, you have to be a master of circumstances, whether within yourself or outside of yourself. So you have to walk into a room. You got to be like, all right, what am I bringing into this room? Is this room peaceful, nice, and I'm bringing anger or anxiety in? And then it's like, or is this room, sad? Can I bring some joy in it? Mm-hmm. And it's those little like micro corrections that we make that I think make kids aware, where it's like, okay, how are you feeling? Check in with yourself. Check into what you need. Do you need to clean your room? Do you feel like you need to interact with your family? Like, are you feeling like you want love? Do you want entertainment? Are you feeling a little bored? And tap into that and figure out how to regulate.
Well, I think that is hard, especially for me. Mm-hmm. This is speaking just for me. I don't think that I have really learned how to do that yet.
No. I know I have.
Like, being in my 30s and raising a child to be independent and to have her own voice, like, I feel like I've always been this way. I'm a very outspoken person. I have very strong opinions. Yeah. I attract, people, not people are attracted to me, they're attracted to my aura, like, of what I put out. So I know that that's innate. I know that she has that. But in the same token, as I'm getting older, like, I want to be reserved. Like, I want to be at home. Like, I want only certain people to get my energy. Mm-hmm. Like, even doing the content creation and the social media stuff, like, being on a path to recovery and going from hanging out with all the wrong people and them putting me in positions that were not good to getting sober and being clean, when I say sober, I recreationally partake in some things. But the bad stuff... that,
That's Portland sober.
That's what it's called?
Yeah, like Cali sober is just the green. And then Portland sober is like other things too. But like nothing harmful.
Okay, like alcohol.
Yeah, like alcohol, mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I'm pretty sure it was Portland sober.
Okay. Yeah. I'm Portland sober then.
There you go.
But going from all of that to now being at a point in my life where I can hold articulate conversations. I am an adult in a room.
You're networking.
I'm networking. Yep. I'm building relationships with other people. She's getting to see that. I'm bringing her with, and the best thing about it is these people also have children.
Yeah.
So they get it 100%. Like when I reach out to people and I'm like, hey, do you want to be on the pod? They're like, oh, I need to figure out a schedule for that. And I'm like, bring them.
Yeah.
Like, we have kids. We get it. Like, we'll figure it out. Because I've worked at places where, you know, they were frowned upon calling off and having call outs and your kid's getting sick. And don't get me wrong, as a business owner, I get it. Because you're relying on that person. But when your kid is sick or you need to be at home with your children or there's some major event that's about your kids.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to choose their job.
Yeah.
Nobody does. You want to choose your family and your children.
Right. And ultimately, your job is not going to remember that a year from now. Your kid is going to remember if you missed their recital or their big game.
100%. So, where's the balance in that? Right. You know, as a business owner, I feel like I have been in these situations where I'm like, I just want to give them off every time. But it's like, but that's not realistic. Like, I have to have sustainable...
Maybe that's where the community comes in, like build or like a village, like the village that you're supposed to, where it's like, you know, I can't show up for my kids 100% of the time with full 100% awareness and like battery life, you know what I mean? But it's like someone will.
Yep, that's true.
And it's like, and I speak of that with a very limited but growing village, thankfully. Like, you know, we just moved to this state and, you know, and it is tough. And it's like, you just give your best and know that your kid still deserves the best, but it doesn't have to be the best from you all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that because being a single mom for the period that I was, I had help from my mom and my sister, and we raised Aria. So she's always been raised in a village. Yeah. Like, I've always had the help.
I love that.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah. Like, she has all these different personalities, and she is more mature because she spoke to so many different people in a day's time.
Right, and bunch of different perspectives, and, like, kind of, like, cultural little differences in personality. Yep. Same with River.
And I'm very, like... For Aria's in 2nd grade, so she's been having sleepovers since she's a baby, pretty much, because of going back and forth from my mom's house to here. She would sleep there once I moved out, and then we're so integrative with our friends, and we have cousins, and we're close with them, so we would go, you know, like, I still do sleepovers as an adult. Like, I go to my cousin's house, and we make a weekend of it, and, like, I'm very close with my sister-in-laws, and we do vacations where we're like just all together, so she's seeing like, oh, this is like normal, you know, where some families they don't like
so
that.
Like sterile and separated.
Yep, they're like, we're not ready, we don't want to do that, which is 100% fine, but also make sure that you do acclimate your child to that at some point, because you don't want them to be, you know, in their teenage years and have
isolated.
This social anxiety because they weren't exposed to it. And I'm not saying sleepovers. They don't have to do sleepovers if that's whatever.
People can be like introverted and people can have different preferences, but people still need to know that they have a community or they have a circle of friends that can support them when needed and that they can support also. And so if we need that as adults, we need to teach that as kids.
Yeah. No, but I agree with you, especially because growing up, I remember trying to do sleepovers, and I would be sad, and I would call my mom and want her to come pick me up because I was out of my element. I was in a different, you know, space. Oh, yeah. So that's totally normal. But then I got acclimated to it, and my mom, you know, you still try. Like, you are going to have those times where you have to go pick your kid up at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night because they want to come home or they're feeling some type of way. But you don't stop trying just because they were uncomfortable one time.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because there's so many times where I'm out with people at, like, midnight, and I'm like, man.
I'm ready to
Mom.
Yep. That is so Wayne and I. Like, we love getting invited to family stuff and going to parties and whatever, but when it hits, like, that 10, 11 o'clock, like, mark, we're just like, oh, yeah, like, we gotta go.
Netflix seems real
Luckily,
nice
we have dogs, so we always have to come home to the dogs, because otherwise, like, not that it's an excuse, like, we really do have to come home to the dogs, but, like, our social battery is also just kind of, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, we're just ready to come home and not talk to each other, like, just decompress and watch TV and chill out, so...
No, it's like, for sure. No, Sophie, just like, I gotta take her out, because she legitimately pisses in my house. like that's actually a real thing.
Yeah.
Like, you've witnessed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she gets a little excited.
Yeah. No, I think a big thing we're, like, kind of, like, just figuring out is that like kids and adults have similar needs and scenarios,
100%.
and what we need in adult life, we can recognize that's what they need. Like when they need compassion of when they want to get picked up from a sleepover, we need that too to get
Yep.
out of the bar.
Yep.
But then it's like also they need to know that they can go to these sleepovers. They can have that fun. We can let loose. You
Yep.
know, it's like
That's
they
like
need to read a room. We need to read a room.
the spoon theory
The spoon.
that
Right,
I
you were
was
just
telling
telling
you
me about that.
That allocating your energy to certain things.
Yes.
And I think teaching that to children is huge because they have so much energy. So it's like they have 12 spoons where adults only have 5 spoons.
Right.
So like maybe explaining it to them in that way, you know, like this is the 5 spoon theory is real. The 12 spoon theory thing is just like something I'm saying as a no manual mama over
Yeah,
here.
yes. The Mel Robbins were up in the spoons.
Yeah, for the kids, like their energy level is like way
more
up here.
spoons.
So they get to allocate their things differently.
Yeah.
So I think that might be a way that I approach it with Arya going forward is like, hey, like I know that when you get home from school, like you have all this energy, like let's figure out something. Like she reads for the first, 20 minutes of her getting home, and then she plays. She's like super into baby dolls right now. So she does have all those things, but then after she's like done with those, and she's like, well, now what are we gonna do? And the biggest thing is like Wayne and I have like worked such a long day. We've had
Yes.
deep cleans, or like we're just so exhausted, we just want to come home and like melt into the couch for a little bit.
Yeah.
And she's like, so what are we gonna do today? And we're like, nothing. And she's like, and it's just like immediately disappointment, and then like your mom heart or your
Right.
parents' heart is like, oh, like are we bad parents because we're not,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not, we're not, obviously.
I know, it's just always a crisis.
Yes,
No,
it's
trust
like,
me.
we do stuff for you every single day. We constantly are doing stuff, and but she gets it, and
Yeah.
then she's like, I get it, and
Well,
I'll just
yeah.
straight up say to her, I'm like, we're tired.
That's
like,
real life too.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
Yep.
like, hey Arya, we gotta chill out. It's like there's so many times where I'm like, River, I just need to sit. I'm like, I need to relax, dude.
Yep.
Like especially on like editing days where I'm like staring at my computer
For
and like
so long.
listening to myself talk
Yeah.
for hours, cutting and
Yeah.
trying to, and it's like, River, I just need to like not exist for a little bit. And it's true, like, and I think like setting an example of being honest with the feelings, because with us and older generations, like how we grew up, our parents wouldn't explain that they are overstimulated or that they're like tired
Yep.
or exhausted.
Well, I don't think they knew.
Well, yeah, they didn't. There wasn't so much of an emphasis on communicating feelings, so they'd be like, "Not now,"
Yep.
or like, "Because I said so."
Yep.
And it's like, and then we didn't understand what was happening. But when we, as parents, are like, River, I'm really tired right now. I need to rest. Then when he's older, he'll recognize like, oh, I'm getting irritable. I'm snapping at my friends. I'm snapping at my girlfriend, whatever. It's like, I need to rest.
Yep.
And it's all setting example. And like, that is true strength. Like when you told me we were doing like an episode on like raising strong children, I was like, dude, to me, a strong child is a child that understands his emotions or her emotions and knows how to regulate.
Yep.
Because no matter what is happening on the outside, as long as you can regulate self, you'll get through it. And like that is true strength.
Yep.
And that awareness.
Yeah. And a village teaches your kid that.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do that alone.
No.
Like there's only so much we can do as moms.
Different strengths and weaknesses.
Yes.
It's like you show Arya your strengths, Wayne shows her his strengths, and then you also show her your weaknesses and his weaknesses.
Yeah.
And River figures out like, oh, mommy's not too good at this, but daddy's better at that. Yep. And like, no, it's like you need to show kids need that diversity. And I'm very big on that, where it's like, because then that's more pieces of themselves that they can figure out and start to decode.
I have a lot of friends, like my close friends. One of my close friends brought me back into church recently, and I had gone to Bible school growing up. Arya was in a Bible school for a little bit. She was baptized. Like I believe in, the higher power.
Yeah.
And I just lost sight of like what that meant, especially when you go down a dark path and you're introduced to all these like devilish things. It's like, well, why is he allowing that
Right.
for me to do this? If this is not good for me, like, but it's my choice. And what
Right.
I recently learned, and I actually brought this up to Dana and I were
Shout
talking
out
about
Dana.
this. Yeah. I said to her, it took me going back to church now, in my older years, and realizing that when they talk about the Lord and the Lord is within you, they're talking about yourself.
Yeah.
They're
Your
talking
power.
about how you have the power within you. And you hear that growing up, and you hear that sometimes in church, but like I still envisioned like the Lord, like
Right.
a single being or a person that is gonna look down on
Or
me.
some concept that seems like it's like, oh, one day I'll find my power.
Yep.
Or it's like, when really it's in you.
It's
You
inside
just
the
have
whole
to
time.
use it.
Harness it.
Yeah,
Yep.
empower yourself with
Yep.
it. But it's not like a foreign thing. Like I used to grow up thinking like, oh, I'll eventually figure it out. Like it's something that I will just stumble upon. I'll
Yep.
stumble upon my calling. I'll stumble upon my passion, my riches.
Yep.
Still working on that. But it's something within you that you have to activate. It's like, okay, today I'm going to do this, this, and this.
Yep.
And if I do that all week, I'm going to feel better.
Yep.
And if I do that all month, I'm going to see progress.
Doing
if I
the
see
work.
that all year, I'm going to see change.
Yep. I feel like that's the basis of our podcast too, is like everything that we've ever done, you with your podcast, with your filmmaking, me with the cleaning business, the content creation, we're just doing it.
Yeah.
Like there's no manual for this stuff. Like, yeah, you can go to college and you can, sit down and YouTube hours and hours of stuff, but you're still doing it.
Yeah,
like,
you're
it's
still
the
making
act
the
of-
decisions.
Yes.
You're still doing the choices. You're still having to wake up, regulate our own feelings,
Yep.
find our own strength.
And our kids.
Right, right, and the kids.
And the kids. Managing that is its whole, its own thing.
And do it. It's not just like we press a button and we're like, okay, the content has been created.
I have such a hard time with the people that think that you do that, though. That, like, everything's handed to you, or that, like, sometimes I'm a spoiled individual by my husband, by my parents. I know that, but I also have put in hard work to get to where I'm at, and it wasn't a solo journey. I had people around me, like feeding me.
Yeah, you have your own village.
Yes, but the people that are like, oh, you were given this, or you did this, or whatever. Everything's just handed to you. No, like I worked my ass off to get to where I'm at. Like,
you literally just said that you were in the depths of addiction with the wrong circles, and now you're networking with people who you look up to.
Yes, 100%.
That's not just like, okay, I'm gonna wake
Luck
up
of the draw.
and be different.
Yeah.
Like you worked on literally figuring out the entire format of your life second by second.
Yep.
How
And
you think,
changing.
what you reach for, who you talk to, where you go, what you do.
I think that having a child honestly helped me through that so much, because not so much for myself, because I've been in instances in my life even before I became a mother where I was suicidal.
Yeah.
And I just thought, like, what am I ever going to do that's going to make me feel
right,
like how I'm not feeling right now? Like, if I'm feeling it, it's always kind of there type of thing. This was my mindset back then.
Yeah.
So after having a child, still feeling suicidal, finally I was like, I don't want her to ever feel these feelings. I don't ever want her to think that the world is a better place without her.
right.
Like, no. So why do I think that about myself? Like, why do I have these feelings that so once I dived down that and I worked through therapy with that, and I realized, like, when you put yourself in a position to believe the negatives of life for so long, it is so hard to see the light.
Yeah.
It is so hard to find yourself on a higher plateau when you're, like, in the trenches.
Yeah.
But when you have a child and they're so full of light and love, it's like literally the universe is screaming at you, like, this is the way.
Yeah.
Like, just do this.
That was you. You've just lost sight of that.
Yep.
Nourish them, and then use you nourishing them
To nourish
to
yourself.
remember.
Yep.
Help heal that inner child and like, figure it out.
I was just telling someone that I did a shamanic soul retrieval a couple years ago.
Ooh.
I was, like, so skitzed out at first, because I'm like, I just came into like my crystal healing and
Did you
like
say skitzed out?
yes.
I love that. I've
Yes.
never heard that. That's iconic.
I was skitzed out.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, I do believe that there is healing properties in crystals. I do believe that if you set up your home in a feng shui type way and you use, Palo Santo and sage, that you
Yeah.
are healing and you're ridding negative energies. I do believe in that stuff.
Oh yeah.
But as far as someone having this greater power, like with Reiki or whatever, and they can just heal you with energy, like, I was very, like, not sure
Right.
about any of it.
Right.
So going into it,
there are so many scam artists that like do things like that.
yes, very much
I mean?
so. And I feel like if you're going into it with a mindset of it's not real, like, it takes you a little bit longer to realize that, like, this stuff really can help you and benefit you.
Right.
So I tried it because I'm like, what's the worst that could happen,
Right.
And I go into the room. It was this male shaman, and he's just like asking me background questions, like, why am I here, like, what am I trying to rid, or what am I trying to find from it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like start talking about it, and I am like not a talk about my feelings type of person. Like, it took a hard time for me to like find a therapist because I'm just very reserved in things that I say. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so worried about them judging me or giving me wrong advice or whatever, that it's just like I just would rather not do it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to like just start talking to this dude about that I don't really know, all these things that I'm like trying to work towards or whatever.
Yeah.
And he starts saying these things, and I know him from the past, but like nothing, like, I know of him. There's no connection. So he starts saying all this stuff, and I'm like, whoa, like, this is weird. Then he starts chanting, like the Indian chants, and like banging on his drum. So now I'm like even more like, okay, maybe this is not like what I was thinking it was.
I don't know what this vibe is.
Unfamiliar
vibe
I'm
alert.
losing the vibe right now. And then he like puts me in I wouldn't say meditative state, but like very relaxed. And he's like, all right, he's like, I want you to tell your younger self something that you wish she needed to know,
Tough.
So
I'd be
immediately
sobbing.
I lost it. Immediately I'm laying there, and I just start like heavily crying, and I see, like, I'm in a black room full of mirrors, and I'm looking at my younger self, and it's like my younger self's body, my younger self's hair, but her face is Arya's face.
Oh.
So now I'm like even more emotional because I'm like, holy shit, like this, like everything that's within me is also within her. So all the things that I needed to know or, think or feel to teach myself the proper ways to cope, go through my emotions, exist in the horrible things that may or may not happen, I also have to teach to her.
Yep.
And it's like, you don't want to expose them to too much, but you also don't want them to get exposed to it
and be blindsided.
Yeah. So that was like very huge awakening for me. And I came out of it, and he's like, what did you take away from it? And I was just like, this was insane. Like, this was not what I was expecting whatsoever, but I was able to release so many things. Mm-hmm. And have you ever heard of Akashic Records?
Yes.
So he talked about that, and he's like, there were a lot of fragments in your, like, down. He's like, you could tell that you suppressed a lot of stuff that you're just trying to let go. He's like, I do think it would be appropriate for you to bring them to surface and work on them. I haven't gone back just because life is life, and pulling up that stuff is like, you get sick for like a week, and then you have to recover because it's like, putting your body through trauma all over again. But I'm like, it's crazy that you can do those type of things, and that you are storing trauma without even realizing that you're doing it.
Oh yes, like any kind of somatic release is like so intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you can tap into that like through those kind of things, like that energy work, through like plant medicines or like psychedelic therapy, regular therapy, somatic exercises.
Have you ever done anything like that?
I've done a lot of various things. So I've done a lot of psychedelic therapy. I've done Reiki. I've done tons of like meditation and transcendental meditation on my own.
That's Wayne's favorite.
Yeah.
He does it all the time. It really helps him.
I've tried breath work, not a big fan of that. I've tried like, I did a float tank. That was really cool.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, like a sensory deprivation float tank. That's really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, so I've done like a lot of different things. My personal favorite is always just like digging in deep with myself, but I'm very transparent with myself mentally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I maybe it's my obsessive compulsive thinking, or like I know where my cracks are, and I don't mind diving into them in my own space, in my own mental space, in my home. So I do a lot of that on my own, but I will say there is like when you use the outer tools to facilitate that, oh gosh, it can really like take that crack and just break it down like a
Mm-hmm.
dam and let
Mm-hmm.
it flood
See,
loose,
I
you
feel
know?
like I've done certain things like that as well, and I've talked to other people who have used, you know, medicinal mushrooms to try to awaken them to certain things.
Yeah.
And the people that I've talked to, they're like, yeah, I definitely have had an awakening. Like, I've had an epiphany about this, or it made me feel this. Like, I've never felt that yet. Like,
Yeah, when I do psychedelics, I kind of just enjoy the moment and
right?
it refreshes me. And then afterwards, I can like
I definitely
take.
have creative thinking, and I know
Yeah,
that I'm in a lighter space and like I'm always happy. But as far as like those existential, like deep
truths.
things, like
Yeah.
I've asked other people about ayahuasca because that's like a
Yeah, I've
purge
done that
type
one.
thing. You've done that,
Yeah.
so what that didn't really do, like,
I did a very light amount, and I did not do it at a retreat. I think that so my thing with like psychedelics is they really have to be facilitated
mm-hmm,
in a powerful way to have a powerful result.
mm-hmm.
And so when you're using them in a recreational way, even if you have an intention to use it as medicine, yeah, you're getting the good stuff in you,
Blurring the
but
lines though.
yeah, there's gotta be ritual. There's gotta be someone to walk you through it. You know, like I've trip sit for Dylan when he did San Pedro cactus, which we should do a whole we'll do a
Thing on
whole
that,
plant medicine and
yeah,
like psychedelic episode. So keep an eye out for that. But
definitely.
you know,
There are safe ways to do
yeah.
things.
Oh yeah, and beneficial for sure. Like
Yeah,
things.
especially if you're struggling with trauma, or like I have a lot of friends that have a lot of generational trauma from their parents, from
Yeah.
their parents' parents, and they're just trucking through. They're like
Yeah.
literally raw dogging the trauma because
And it's
there's
just like
no,
weight that they're dragging
yes,
with every
there's
step.
no way that they have processed it, and you process it in your own way. You know, going to church and having faith is a way to process it, but if you're not into that, there also is other ways. Like, I had a lot of trauma after I gave birth to Arya, and I couldn't regulate myself. I was turning to all kinds of different things, and then, you know, medicinal marijuana became very big, and I talked to my doctors about that. My sleep was an issue, like my anxiety was crazy. So they recommended getting a medical marijuana card, and I did, and I never looked back. I don't use it all the time. I used to be really bad with it and like smoke every day when I wake up, you know,
Yeah.
throughout my day. But now I'm just like, okay, I can just use a little bit to, you know, take the edge off. I'm good. It helps me clean like crazy. It
Dude,
just
yeah.
puts me in such a great
Oh yeah,
mindset.
cleaning is so real on
It's
that.
so awesome. And then I use it at night
Yeah.
just to, you know, regulate myself, calm my brain down a little bit. It helps me sleep great, and I feel good.
Yeah.
I'm not abusing it. I am prescribed it,
Yeah.
but some people still look down
No,
on it
so
for that.
here's a
Like,
hot take, guys, and I feel like I always do a hot take every episode. And
well, we have to.
we should document them. But hot take, everything is a substance. Caffeine, okay, nicotine, but then even things like you do an echinacea or passion flower supplement, that is a substance that affects you.
Yep.
Your food, the sugars, the carbohydrates, everything has an effect. So cannabis has an effect. Now people it you feel it much stronger than you might feel, you know, echinacea supplement, but it still is an effect. And so it's like, you know, let's normalize that everything has an effect, and it just varies on spectrum of how heightened, like how strong the effect is and what the effect actually feels like.
I think for so long, because it was an illegal substance, that it got such a bad rap. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, now people that aren't educated enough on it still have that negative stigma behind it.
Yeah.
Like, Arya knows what it is.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that it's medicine.
Yeah.
And she knows that it helps aid our ailments.
Yeah.
She doesn't know more than that. She doesn't know, like, the effects that it gives, or,
Yeah,
like, what type
that
of thing
people
it
do
is.
it recreationally or
Yes.
stuff. Yeah.
No, she knows that it's medicine, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that if you know, there's parents that are gonna hear that and think like, oh my gosh, like I would never want my child to know what it is or
Do they know about wine? Uh-huh. All right, go on.
that is a good point though,
Yeah.
because like it's not a bad thing. If you're
Yeah.
teaching your children the correct uses of things, like,
Mhm.
you know, alcohol could be more detrimental than marijuana.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of cases. Like you don't see people getting in car accidents for marijuana driving. You
Yeah.
see car accidents for drunk driving.
Yeah.
And educating your kids, giving them a voice, and letting them decide how they're going to feel about it instead of just being like, no, this is bad. Like, yes, definitely teach them that there are some drugs that are bad.
Yeah.
But
those are the bad effects.
the
things.
bad effects, yes. Like
Then,
this is
yes.
this is something that like cancer patients are using to calm their pain, to, you know what I mean? Like get them through one
Our
of the worst times of
ancestors
their
used
life.
it.
Yes.
Way back in the day. And like, yeah, I'm very big on just recognizing that everything is on a spectrum. If you ingest it, you eat it, you inhale it, whatever, everything has an effect. And it's just figuring out pros and cons, what things have better effect. Like there's so many foods that I eat that I feel like crap. Then there's foods that I eat that I feel great.
Yep.
There are supplements that I take and I feel like not good from, and there's supplements that I take and I feel so good. There are plant medicines that I've taken and they overwhelm me, and then there's plant medicines that help me.
Mhm.
And you figure out what it is and you understand that everything has an effect.
Yep.
Like I go real deep on that. Like even like soap ingredients. Like I go in deep of like the foods, processing, like the additives, and yeah, like in fragrances and like soaps, or even in candles, like what you light because you inhale it.
Yep.
It's like you want to get deep about things that have an effect
That are
on,
bad for you?
yeah,
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. So it's like cannabis, guys. Cannabis isn't what we should be talking about. Okay. Let's talk about your what is it? Your Tide detergent that is an endocrine disruptor. Okay. No.
I went down that rabbit hole before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, everything has an effect, guys. Okay. It's just let's start laying it all out and just figuring out what things are better effects and what things are worst effects.
Educate yourself so you can educate your kids.
Yeah, about decision making.
Yep.
All right. The reality is, a lot of people try cannabis, and a lot of people try alcohol, and a lot of people try nicotine and caffeine, and they try the junk food, they try the good food. Everyone tries different things. Let's just teach people how to make empowered decision making and
I love
strong, powerful decisions.
Well, you have a teenage stepson, correct?
I do. Shout out Jacob.
Yeah, so I have friends that have teenage children and they're going through the motions of drama and girlfriends and boyfriends and drugs and drinking and all these things, and they're like, obviously they watched me grow up, so they know that there were times that I've used these things or that they were vices. I don't want them to have a negative notion behind it. I want them to feel safe in doing it, which is exactly the type of parent that I want to be. I had a strict mom, you know, and she wanted what was best for me, but she didn't know how at times to let me be my own person, but also instill the rules. Which, how do you find that balance?
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's trial and error. Like, trust me, we've gotten in fights with our teenager, but for the most part, thankfully, love you, Jacob. We do keep a pretty open communication, and we try to
I think
facilitate.
That's the best way.
You know, when he first experimented with cannabis, I actually was just telling this story. He came home, and we had told him previously because we knew he was hanging out with people that did, and we're like, "Listen, Jacob, do it responsibly. Really start slow. Make sure you're with trusted individuals. Make sure that it's clean, good stuff. It's not laced with fentanyl, anything like that." I'm like, really, like, watch how it affects other people first. Make good,
Conscious
empowered,
choices.
You're right.
Yep.
He came home one day. Well, you know,
Under the influence.
right? And like, I had just repainted my outlet covers and my light switches because I was redoing our kitchen, and so, and I painted them in a way I wasn't sure of. I didn't know if I liked it or not. So I was like just standing in the kitchen, just like staring at them, like, you know, because I don't do anything anymore, so that is my recreational time, is spending 40 minutes contemplating my light switch covers, okay? That's what I do. And he walks in, he's like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm just, trying to figure out what I want to do with these light switch panels and outlet panels. The kid talked to me about them for like 45 minutes. 45 minutes. A 14-year-old boy was talking to me about what color I painted the light switches and what I should paint them.
Well, because it does expand your way of thinking. Like, I definitely, there's been times where I'm exhausted, I'm overwhelmed, my brain is like whatever, and I, use a little bit, and then I'm a better parent. Yeah. I'm a better wife. I can have conversations. My brain's not like yelling at me like you have all these things to worry about and think about.
Right, you show up. He showed up for me in I guess my time of need when I needed opinions on my light switches, whatever.
I love
that. But dude, as soon as he walked out, I looked at Dylan. I was like, that kid's like high as hell if he just talked to me about these light switches for that long. And sure enough, the next day he talked to me. He's like, yeah, just so you know, he's like, last night I smoked for the first time, and we were like, how'd you we asked him about the effects. You don't go straight to punishment, you go to reflection.
How did you
feel? It's
like,
how did you feel? Did you like it? What do you think of the effects? And so he talked about
My mom went straight to punishment, and then I was like, I'm gonna be a stoner.
Yeah.
And I am about to be 31, and I am a stoner.
Right. Dude, when you go straight to punishment mode as a parent, it creates that fight or flight that makes your kid less receptive to good decision making. You don't want, when your kid is doing something questionable, even if it's not, but if you view it as questionable, don't send them in fight or flight, because then they're not going to make proper decisions.
I think, I was maybe like a sophomore when I started smoking. Not a lot, but hanging out with kids that could have been questionable.
Yeah.
So I get the worry that my mom had, and, wanting to instill some type of, not punishment, but just like, there is right and wrong, and you don't want to go down this path, because I did have the ability to be on honor roll. I did have the ability to be this, perfect student.
Yeah.
But when you're using that and you're not using it in a medicinal way
and responsibly.
Just
balance.
Yes, very much so.
It's not it itself, it's how it gets used.
100%.
Because people aren't having proper conversations about it.
But I also think that their generation, maybe didn't know, like, there wasn't medicinal marijuana back then.
Right.
There was hash, and there was using it to
and it was
feel a certain way.
It was so secret. They weren't talking to people like, how do you responsibly use it?
Yes.
How do you tap in?
So when our generation started doing it, all they think is like, no, this is bad. Like, they are thinking about all the terrible times that they put themselves in, or situations that they've been in that maybe they didn't want to be in or whatever, and they didn't want that to happen to us, where I feel that same way. But because we are using it the way that we're using it, and it is medicine,
and we're reflecting on it,
and we're talking about it.
Yes.
Like, we are having the tough conversations that might be uncomfortable. And I'm not saying that I'm sitting down talking to my second grader about this stuff. I'm saying that when the time comes, these are the conversations that we're going to have. She's not going to be left in the dark. I want her to come home to us and ask us the questions that her friends at school are talking about, or that she's reading online. I don't want her to feel like, oh, my parents are going to, like, freak out on me if I ask them questions about these certain things. Like, I want our home to be a safe space.
Think about how we have tried so hard to normalize the sex talk, right? Because that's an important thing to know. And parents get uncomfortable about having the sex talk.
Yep.
But it's important for them, for their wellness, and for their relationships, their life, if they know about
making.
The responsibility, the emotional impact, the contraceptives. You need to have that conversation about almost everything. About substances, and about habits, about social circles. Well, you need to be that intentional with conversation.
Not even about the stuff that we're talking about, because the stuff that we touched on today is more for the teenage kids and your older kids.
Right.
But having the conversations does start at a young age, because there are bullies in kindergarten. There are bullies in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. So having the conversations with kids about everyone lives in a different home. Like, kids don't know that. They come home to their home and they think that maybe every other family is just like theirs.
Yep.
Where when I have these conversations with Aria, I am never putting down other parents, because I am sure that there are a million things that I do that other parents could say something about.
Yeah.
All I want to instill in her is that kids process their emotions differently.
Yeah.
So what you need to do to process your emotions, which we do the belly breaths and we try to
The
drink
calm
water,
corner, yeah.
the calm corner. Other kids don't have that. They have music or screaming or yelling or that's all they know how to
Or they
release
know
themselves.
to like run it out, work it out, you
Yep.
know, like yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many kids are taught different ways to cope, or even if they're not intentionally taught, they
Pick it up.
pick up
Yep.
different ways to cope. And
So that's what I'm teaching her is
Yeah.
that you are going to be put in situations where you might feel uncomfortable, but you have to regulate yourself, like you
Yep.
said, and get yourself okay, because you're not going to be able to help someone else if what they're doing is triggering you when what they're doing is all they know.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
it's how to regulate their feelings.
Yeah.
So from a young age, I think that it's appropriate to still have conversations with your kids, to still let them know that it's okay to talk about the tough things. It's okay to, like, when Arya comes home from a day at school and something happens, if it's bad or good, I can tell when she's reserving things for me. I can tell when she doesn't really want to, like, tell me the full thing because she did something that might get her in trouble, or she doesn't want to, like, tattle on a friend. So I talk to her about it. I'm not digging into her. I'm not like, well, what happened? Well, tell me. Well,
Or
what did you
threatening
do?
her,
Yeah, like,
like-
tell me, or you're not gonna, like, no. I'm like, hun, like, what happened? Like, you know, I can tell that this is bothering you a little bit. Like, you're not in trouble. Like, you're never in trouble. You can talk about your feelings. And she does. And she opens up to me. And the things that she says are, like, the cutest things. Like, someone took her eraser and she didn't want to tell on them. Or, like, you know, like, second grade things. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's okay for you to come home and tell us about this. Like, when you go to school, like, you don't want to say, like, oh, you're stupid for stealing my eraser, which she would never do. But she can come home and express herself to us, like, oh, well, I didn't like that this person did that and it made me feel this way, instead of reacting in the moment and making that child feel a certain way, and then she feels a certain way because she made someone, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole cycle.
You're laying a foundation of regulation that's gonna, how she regulates herself when someone takes her eraser is gonna help her regulate when someone takes her boyfriend in high school.
Yep.
And when she regulates when maybe someone, you know, takes something in her dorm room. Or, hey, as adults, you know, sometimes people take opportunities, take career, you know, opportunities.
Oh, it'll happen your whole life.
Yeah, and how she regulates as a kid, it grows and it expands, and you're laying that foundation. So it's like, to raise these strong kids, you got to be aware in the moment that you are setting them up for success for decades later.
Yep.
Today.
Yep.
And but don't let that pressure seem intense. It's just about taking a breath and telling them, like, how does this make you feel? How do you
Being in the now.
Right. Yes, being in the
Yep.
now. Eckhart Tolle, we were just talking
Yep.
about him. And it's like,
The Power of Now. If you guys haven't read that book, I had a therapist recommend that to me a couple years ago, and I read it a couple times just because it's teaching you that there are things out of your control. You cannot harp on them. You cannot overthink them, especially when it comes to parenting. You are going to make choices sometimes that you regret, whether it's something you said to your child or if you were feeling overwhelmed. Like, I know there's times that I overreact and I say things to Aria and it has a negative, angry notion behind it. And later on, I sit down with her and I'm like, hun, I'm so sorry that I reacted that way. It had nothing to do with you. I just was overwhelmed. I had a long day. Because sometimes I didn't get those conversations as a kid. And I knew that my parents might have been overwhelmed and, you know, they're going through the motions of working, paying the bills, cooking, cleaning, all the things that overwhelm you in a day, plus listening to their children fight, or I'm hungry, this, that, the next thing. But getting the I'm sorry, or letting them know that you recognize that your behavior wasn't anything against them is huge.
it makes them feel safe, and then it also shows them how to say sorry.
Yep.
Which is so important.
And understand, like, reading the room, adults don't know how to do that. You know, I'm just learning how to do that. I know that I can read people's energies great, but as far as other people's energies, I have let other people's energies affect me for so long. I'm still learning how to not, you know, especially in marriage.
Yeah.
Like, Wayne's my partner, so when he's off, I'm off.
Yeah.
And sometimes he just needs to be off.
Yeah.
And I just need to let him, you know,
Yeah.
do his thing. And same with me. Some days I wake
Feelings
up.
need to breathe sometimes.
Yes, 100%. And teaching that to your children, like, you can be in a bad mood. You can handle yourself how you need to handle yourself. Like, when Arya's really overwhelmed, I'm like, go scream in your pillow.
Yeah.
Go lay in your bed, calm yourself down. Even if it does come out in an angry, you know, way,
Yeah.
handle it. Like, don't Don't yell at me. Don't have a meltdown.
Yeah.
Don't take it out
Don't
on me.
make it ruin your life. Don't make it ruin your relationships.
Yep. Just handle it. Let it out how you need to. Like you said, running or boxing. Like, I know tons of men who go to boxing classes, even women.
Dylan swears by that.
Yeah,
he's
just to
big
get
on
it
the,
all
like,
out.
active work.
Yeah, it's awesome. So talk to your kids. Encourage them to talk to you, even about the hard stuff, the exciting things, all of it. They need a safe space, which should be their parents or grandparents or caregivers, to be able to express themselves and know that it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to rule the world. It's okay to run for president.
Yep.
And it's okay to be a 7-year-old with a voice.
Yeah, just find the strength in it.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you, Leah. Thank you,
good
guys.
talks, always.
Remember to find us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, all the platforms. If you have any suggestions or if you have questions and you want
100%.
advice, we would love to do that at some point. We still haven't gotten any, but one day we will answer your questions.
You can comment on our YouTube or send us a message on Facebook, Instagram, just something that you want us to talk about. Even if it's something you have a question about, shoot it to us. You know, we'll do some research. We'll give our little 2 cents about it, and
Yes, always.
Yeah.
We can't say it'll be great 2 cents, but it will be something.
it'll be unscripted and unfiltered.
Yeah, and sometimes you need that.
Yeah,
right?
100%. And the laughs.
Yeah.
My favorite was our last episode with the confident. You can confidently ask us anything you want.
Shoot us some messages with confidence.
Yes.
My guys.
You got this.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening. Bye,
Yes,
guys.
bye.